We could do the future of Tsugani or um
Silas's
Julian Prime.
parents. Where are they going to be?
Oh, that would have been so much better than seeing where they are now. Shit!
That's a good point, actually. Yeah.
I mean, knowing that they're alive in the present is also important. So,
Very
It
important.
was kind of a
but at the same
bet.
time, we should maybe first use our uses on things that are going to help us in the present.
Yes.
No use
fair
looking
enough,
in on
fair
the
enough.
future of other things if you guys don't make it out.
Yes. I think. I guess I can really only ask this from a meta standpoint. Crash, would that give us what we want if we try to look at the future of someone we're trying to kill?
It can help. It doesn't lock it in, but it can help.
Give us some insight.
It can give you some insight, and on an out-of-game perspective, it can happen retroactively, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
So, how to say this? Hypothetically, right? Out of game, you guys, well, I guess in game, your characters would see it. Out of game, I grant you guys a vision of the future whose conditions are drastically different than that which you guys have access to in the present. The conditions would change, or at least be made available to be changed in the present, even if they weren't previously available. So the future vision will retroactively allow itself to happen in the present.
Oh, what the hell?
So the vision I give you guys, and I am going to ask a series of questions for this one. The vision I give you guys will retroactively cause itself to happen potentially. That being said, if you guys ask to see a victory, you aren't to see a victory, you're going to see a battle. A battle is what will happen. And it's like fucking Doctor Strange. It's like, I've looked through 10,000 worlds. How many did we win? 2. So statistically speaking, you guys are going to lose. Therefore, the vision you see is of losing, or at least the battle itself. The battle is guaranteed across 10,000 dimensions. The victory and the losing, that's the discrepancy.
So,
It's like that.
What about if we don't can we see the future of the Sigillian Prime's death? It would make more sense to say, let us see the future of Sigillian Prime's what's the word? Like crippling, nerfing.
Final battle.
The nerfing. Yeah, that is a potentiality.
How do we
That way it
disable
wouldn't-
this man?
It wouldn't show us like a battle with him. It would show us the aftermath of us having made him weaker.
Correct.
Which might be able to tell us how to do that.
Potentially.
So what do you guys think?
Yeah, sure.
Future's so volatile, but the way Crash explained it makes it seem a lot simpler.
I'm more set in stone.
Well, I think it's the very sort of adaptable, modular approach to it.
Mhm.
You can make that fit into so many different scenarios, which is the beauty of it.
This is a future, not the future. Just like how there are multiple presents, depending on whose perspective you're watching.
That's true. Also, I have a suspicion as to the limitation of this, but we'll get there later.
Mayhaps. So, you want to look into the future in the overcoming of the Sigillian Primes is a lunar defense, so to speak.
Yes.
You begin to enter through. You guys, as you do so, you enter into a massive, let me say, like, imagine like, I don't know, half the Sydney Opera House sort of room. It is a sort of dome, like egg dome shaped, not like a basilica, more like an observatory. A large chunk of its roofing is missing. You guys could see up and out, and you see no stars. You see instead the miasma that is above you guys in the void zone, the cordon. You see piercing through all the miasma, like broken staircases, a set of moonlight beams that are, well, broken and shattered and sort of disjointedly held in space and time.
I wonder where this is.
I wonder where this is.
It's actually at your hometown.
It's Boston.
You see yourselves. All of you. You see, you all begin fanning out, looking around, either for some general perimeter security reason or because you're looking for something. With a number of you getting curious and maneuvering closer towards the lunar fracture. The fracture itself begins taking on an even brighter glow than the ambient light it ever presently gives off. You see a ominous purple energy begin reaching out from the tower of Sakani out towards the top of the Sigillian Keep. You can see some semi-coalescent form of Sakani begin emerging from his tower and making his way to the keep. You see, just throwing close the doors, and honestly, the whole doorway cracks and sunders about him closing it. The Sigillian Prime entering in behind you guys. One final rundown. Oh, but there's more. Opposite of the entryway into the room itself, you hear abyssal incantation, and then you see two black tar-like pools opposite of the entryway and far across the room. Past the lunar fracture, these two portals open up, portals to the void, and two large creatures begin to pull themselves out from it. These gnawed creatures looking like a combination of large man children with cracked open rib cages with bat-like sort of pullback facial features, dressed in this sort of disgusting brown sort of taint about them. Two of them begin pulling themselves up out of the ground, taller than a man. About as tall as a Sigillian Prime, maybe a bit taller. In this future that you are beholding at current, the Sigillian Prime still has his lunar plates about him. In this future, in your heart of hearts, a couple of you get angry that you have gotten this far, that you follow the lunar fracture to this point, and it still hasn't done anything to help. Where's the justice in that? It hears you, and the whole thing comes alight. And you could see the Sigillian Primes' lunar extensions all begin shattering like broken glass. And as each piece breaks, they fly back to the lunar fracture. Sigillian Prime, without his buffs, his ability to step across time and space. It is a more fair fight now that you aren't fighting someone that is beyond you, but it is a very painful fight knowing that it is fighting him, Sakani, and the two monstrosities he's conjured into existence. There is only one object in the room, at least only one that's left, and that is the lunar fracture itself. That is the future the doorway shows you, and there is no need to follow a wisp this time, it just ejects you back. That is a future.
That is a future.
Well, that was intense.
So Sakani's gonna summon two appear to be demons. Not only that, but we have to fight him and Sigillian Prime at once. Or at least, in that scenario, we do.
Not as strong as Sigillian Prime, to be fair, but it's still the most powerful wizard I've ever even contemplated. And two massive abyssal monsters. And also someone who's probably not a pushover at his normal.
I will
Piece of cake.
roll survival for Anushka. Let's see if she knows. They're not devils, so they're not.
Yeah, so it's not favorite enemy.
But we'll see.
So
Alright,
anyways,
moving on.
got that one. So you chose to suck.
So I chose to roll.
I don't have an inspiration. Alright, well, fuck.
That's a pain. That's an oof. That's an ouchie. Keenan, you can roll your religion. You might know something about them.
Sure. Let's see. Where's my... Oh, there it is. Religion.
Let's see. 15.
1d4.
19. Okay, that does push you into a different tier past 18. You how to say? You recognize them in a peripheral sense. Obviously, you never met any of them. They're pretty high up there. They're not the brightest bunch amongst fiends, but fiends are such a weird blanket statement to say. But not really a blanket statement. You don't want to give them a blanket statement. From the orientation of their rib cage and their size and their sort of not conniving, but like sort of lecherous the nature, I guess, is the best way to describe it. Like the tenacity and drive to grab and covet and capture. And given to my God, you're making me mispronounce the name. Sakani's own machinations. They're rather simply named in common. They're called Devourers. They're no pushovers.
What do they call them? Devourers?
They're called Devourers because they like to devour souls.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, not you, Hole.
I would communicate all of this to everybody.
I will roll Blair's survival.
That's good.
Nice. I will roll Delvit's survival. Where's the sheet? Where's the sheet? Oh yeah, he has not survival. Half.
And so you will
I'll
not
give
be
him
rolling his
investigation.
survival.
Alright, so they're 2 18 plus 2s. Nice.
They will have a 20.
Delvin and Blair, who are decently knowledgeable on monsters, for obvious reasons, do describe a couple of the capabilities of such creatures. They aren't terribly intelligent. Well, no more so than the average man. But they certainly have a hardiness about them. Given their, conflagrated nature, their conflicting nature, so stuff like we've seen like Chaos Bolt and stuff like that, those sorts of spells which can grab at different elemental capabilities, they are sort of capable of caging it, if that makes sense. Not necessarily chaos itself, but a soul's ability to be chaotic.
Oh. What the fuck?
So they are resistant to a lot of capabilities of such magics, wild magics and stuff like that. So like cold damage, lightning, fire, stuff like that. They're resistant to it. They can, unsurprisingly from their name, devour a creature whole.
Oh.
And if a creature dies while being devoured, they are caged in the devourer for a moment, becoming another type of monster. Changes.
Oh god.
So
Would
they
we
are
know-
nasty, nasty creatures.
would we know if there's a strategy in potentially locating what's causing them to be summoned rather than killing them outright?
Sakani.
So if we took him out, they would likely disappear along with him?
Not necessarily. It depends entirely on how he conjures them.
Okay.
If you're training Arcana, you can roll Arcana. Let's see if you guys could have pieced together the style of conjuration Sakani was doing in that future vision. Because there are
Does
two
having read
ways.
those pamphlets from earlier help?
No, that has nothing to do with summoning demons.
Ah, that's conjuration. That's the best argument I
Also,
have.
you guys didn't read that far into it.
I'm not proficient, but if any of you are.
I'm
Yeah,
proficient
we
with
sent the
Arcana.
magic people elsewhere.
Probably for the
Arcana?
best. If you're proficient in it, yeah.
Ciao.
You
Jesus.
can just
Not
call
bad.
Sajar, ask him, hey, do you know
Yeah,
anything
just
about
call up Cesar. 25.
this?"
There are two conventional ways of conjuration. I guess there are three, but it's less conjuration. That's a manifestation. One which is more short term, and one which is longer term. Like a summon creature spell, like summon beasts or summon fae or whatever, right? When those creatures die, they just go back to the Feywild or wherever. Or if you lose concentration, you lose control over them, stuff like that. And then once they get defeated, they go back to wherever they came from. Pretty straightforward. That's more over like getting their essence and letting them in, or utilizing their essence to let them in. The other manner of conjuration is one that you guys are a bit more familiar with because that's teleportation outright. Right? You guys aren't leaving behind a fragment of your soul when you guys use a teleportation circle. You guys are just going all the way through. Nothing left behind. Nothing told. Stolen or whatever. In the case of the former, if you guys beat Sakani, they get ejected out. In the case of the latter, if you guys beat Sakani, they're still there because they got fully teleported in.
Mm-hmm.
At a 25 Arcana, he opened the door. They're in.
Fuck.
In fairness, there might be into his servitude. Lots of conjuration wizards have the true names or some contractual name basis with such creatures. So being Sakani might still be the answer. The question is, are they going to leave once their servitude ends, if they are in servitude? Or are they just going to stick around and fuck around and find out?
Well, seeing as they're called devourers, I assume they would
Yeah,
want to
just
It'd be a
devour
fair
us.
assumption that they're hungry. Oh man, I traveled all the way here from Detroit. I need a snack.
yeah. So you can make that assumption. Yeah,
There's plenty of food for devourers in Detroit. I don't believe that for a second.
You're right.
No, they can't have shit in
Do
Detroit.
people have souls? in
That's right.
Detroit?
No, they don't have souls in Detroit. They have knives.
So nice.
Knives and depression.
Soul knife. They have knives in place of weird souls should be.
Oh,
I will say one other thing. As you guys go through all three doors, a fourth door does open up.
There was a fourth door. Oh, you're right.
Well, it's here now. It definitely was not there when you guys came in.
It was a stupid joke.
Did we go through the past door?
Yeah, we came.
We
out
came through
this
it.
You guys
one
came out
because
of
we
it.
were in the past. And then
Oh,
these
right.
ones were just.
It was rigged from the start. You're always in the past.
Oh,
This one is of a full moon.
Ah,
night of.
thanks, but no thanks. I have more people in my personal life to spy on.
Not creepy at all.
Oh, Colonel.
I would say with all the roles that we're not going to talk about Anushka's. We're not going to talk about Anushka's role.
we don't talk about Anushka.
Yeah, we don't talk about Anushka, even though she's the main character of the arc.
Anushka. She doesn't count if the Kirsty isn't here.
Exactly. Go ahead. Take a look at their stat block.
Ooh.
I will say one change I always do across every monster is I give them an automatic first level hit die max. So they will have slightly more HP than what's listed there. But aside from that, I'm not changing one detail about it.
What is it?
What, 6 HP? The Devourers.
Oh,
Yeah, so yeah, it'd be whatever max of their first die is.
High
Instead.
school life.
Oh, these
So it'd
fucking
have like
guys.
180 something.
Gross.
Yeah, it'd be like 100 something.
Cold,
I
fire,
thought-
lightning.
There are
Oh,
two of
this
them.
is. There's two of them. This is an undead version, right?
That's good to know because I think your shit is doing lightning damage right now, isn't it? So you could change off that at least. From
Oh yeah, my
Mishka.
gun does lightning damage, yeah. Which I think we fought something else earlier that was resistant to lightning, right?
possibly, I don't know.
Oh, was the chthonic?
Because
Guy.
Groundskeeper was resistant to a lot of things.
Okay, so yeah.
Could be the creature can be teleported inside of the creature present there.
Only takes a short rest to switch that damage type. So, what could I change it to? Let's see, this cold, fire, lightning, and poison. It's just the poison. Acid's not an element, right?
That's the element. Well, is the one that Anushka can do? I don't recall.
Can you
I
find
could
the
just
thing on our
spit
sheet?
up a zombie. That's fun.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
but let's be honest here, the
oh,
zombie's not the concerning part of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's the
the concerning
you
part is
don't
that
have
the
a
zombie used to
soul.
be your friend.
Yeah.
No revivifies for that.
I imagine if they do the imprisoned soul thing. Yeah, exactly. It just
Also,
can't
it
go
wouldn't
back to
even
that.
be it would be a white.
It would be
It'd
a
be a
white.
ghoul. Oh, it would be.
It would be a white because you guys have more than 5 hit dice.
Yeah.
If they get delve it though, it'll only be a ghoul.
Devourer creates a vortex of
Zombie.
life-draining energy in a 20-foot radius that does 8d10 necrotic damage.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nah, it
Center
hurts.
on itself. That's fine though. It's a 20-foot radius center on itself. I just won't be that close. You guys are fucked though.
Imagine being a melee combatant. That'd be
Rip.
fucking wild. That'd be crazy.
I am about to crash. I'm going to go to sleep.
No, you're about to Frederick. It sounds so much worse than.
No.
Good night,
than
Fred.
that.
Is that
Good night, Fred.
Fred? Is that
Goodbye.
session?
I'll probably have
I
a couple
guess.
more questions.
Okay.
But there's no reason for me to drag out Fred's time here.
Mhm.
If he's just tired.
No, if you need my input, feel free and I'll reply later.
Yeah.
Very well.
Hey, good luck, guys. Feel free to spy on Sajar even if I'm not here. Bye.
Oh no,
don't
session
think we
ends.
can.
Like
Yeah.
time's up. No more spying.
Oh, okay.
What?
No more spying. Time's up.
Aw.
Session ended.
My theory was that on the limitation that it's moonlight and all the scenes were nighttime, so it can probably only show things that it's currently in night, not daytime.
Maybe.
That was my guess anyway.
Good night.
Maybe.
Night.
Night.
Yeah.
Good night.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because it was nighttime when Alexander visited his mother, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And it,
Nighttime
even though it's hard to tell
spider.
underground with Scavola, but it probably was nighttime.
It's probably nighttime.
It's a
Um,
presumable kind of thing with the situation.
In 5 words or less, what does Alexander see if he goes to the present of Colonel Corbin?
You don't get to see.
Ah!
Flying,
the,
we're all
the
done.
doorways are closed.
Yeah, it's
What
5
about
words.
past? Just. Oh yeah, it is 5 words. In 5 words or less, what about his past? If I go to his high school life, did he have a mullet? Did he have a mullet?
Yeah, he had a mullet.
Ah, I knew it.
That didn't go.
So no more spying.
No more spying.
All right.
No more spying, and next week
Got one,
is
No
the
more
last
spying
session.
next week.
Next week is the last session.
hmm
But that's
Next
not
week-
a no more spying.
Next week, you guys, I can tell you this: you will go through that doorway because there's nowhere else to go. You will send up, and you will be in the room with the lunar fractures out, and you guys
Oh.
can go relive that future that you saw.
Boy.
Unless you guys
I
have
feel like
things
we
you
should
want to
use the
change
future one
about
for
it.
something else. Well, no, we got the.
Unless you guys have things you want to change about it. There are a couple options I can give you. Because that, as I said, that was a future, not the future. There are still things you guys can do to change the future. Or things after the fact that you guys didn't see that you guys could have still done. So, Jesus Christ. You good,
I know.
Tango?
The thing that oh, is Tango okay?
He's attacking a package.
Oh, it's package okay.
It's probably fine.
Probably, but
Probably.
not for sure. Oh god.
It doesn't deserve it. So yeah, there are things you guys. How to say? You guys will have the ability to interact with the lunar fracture. It is a source of power. It is simultaneously limited and limitless. And its capability is dependent upon your guys' creativity on what to do with it, as well as finagling a way to get it.
Oh. How to pit the Sigillian Prime against Sakani.
Well, I can't mind control stuff and stuff like that.
Could
It has a portfolio. It has a portfolio.
Could so the devourers devour souls? Could we basically no? Because if they're in a contract with the wizard, I was thinking we could have the Moonlight thing charge Prime, not to give him more power, but to make him more appetizing, more or less.
He doesn't have
just
a
has
soul.
the energy around him.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a soul.
God damn it!
Magic is not a soul, remember. Well,
Mhm.
there's
Yeah,
a major
it's the wild
theological
part.
discussion to be had on that.
The well part is the part where it's well,
Yeah, it is. Okay, the lunar fracture is powerful, but it can't do everything. It has a portfolio of stuff it can do. So if you believe you have an idea of it, within its portfolio, it can try to do that. Like mind controlling other targets, yeah, that's not its portfolio.
Not mind control, but I just didn't know how, I guess, sturdy Sakani's hold on the Sigillians was.
Absolute.
Absolute. I just didn't know if it was absolute, or if they were like the fucking Emperor's clones. Where it's
At a
like,
certain point in time, he might not have had absolute control over them, but at this point in time, he definitely does.
gets 2 claw attacks and it can do one of these two.
So then less about, because I think Sakani versus
Sakani can fly definitely.
He does
a nerfed.
fly.
Fuck.
I'll just shoot him a bunch. It's fine. Versus a nerfed Sigillian Prime. I think we can do that. Adding in these devours to the mix. I mean, you said you're gonna probably buff their HP, right?
By all of 6 points or whatever it is.
It's not gonna be much. It's gonna be plus.
Like
five,
the
6.
hit die it has, remove 1 and then add the maximum of that hit dice plus, as if you're leveling up a PC, right? You get max first level. That's what they get.
Mhm.
That's all. I do that for every creature ever since.
So, instead of the average, that's 5.5 from a D10. It would just be a 10.
Mhm.
So it'd be 4.5.
10 plus
extra points.
5 or whatever its Garth-Mod is. So it
Well,
gets that much additional different HP, which it gets 10 or whatever at that
Yeah.
point.
It barely hits double
that
the most.
becomes more doable. But adding them into the mix will just complicate things. Because action economy and
It will be nasty.
The target.
But
Can it
Conjuration Wizard's a bitch.
Can the Moonlight thing just stall their summoning? I don't know if it could stop them, but could it stall them from being dragged through?
No.
What can it do? It has time, chronotherapy, chronomancy, time,
It can't affect time.
Chronological.
dilation. Can it slow them down?
Time Lord, Doctor Who.
It
Can
can.
it slow them down?
It can slow things. Things that are affected that would fail against a save can be slowed. Yes, that is an option. It could also do the inverse. It could speed you guys up.
Speed
Could it
us up.
hit all of us with haste?
In theory, it wouldn't be the same superpower as the Sigillian Prime got, but that's because he doesn't give a
'Cause
shit
it'd be-
about his fucking well-being. So
Right. And also, it'd be spreading it across all of us. So hasting us, potentially,
it can haste all of you.
what kind of wisdom saving throw? These guys have a +0 wisdom save. Slowing the 2 devourers would be pretty good.
What does slow do again?
I'll just
There's a long list.
Find it.
minus 2 to AC. They can only take an advantage or a bonus, or action, reaction, or bonus action. They can't do all three, and their movement speed is
attack bonus.
halved. Stuff like that.
How does
So they have multi-attack, so their
attacks.
attacks would go down from 2 to 1.
Uh-huh.
That's all they can do on that turn.
They couldn't do
Or they
like
could soul
claw
rend.
as well as the imprisoned soul or claw as the soul rend. They would have to pick either one claw attack, one imprisoned soul, one soul rend.
Exactly.
If they have access to the soul rend.
Yeah. As opposed to us being able to output. So in that case, it kind of becomes: do we want to output more damage or have their output severely hindered?
¿Por qué no los dos?
There is a
Could we
limit
get
to what the
both?
Lunar Fracture can do.
Okay.
It can't do all the effects, sorry.
Damn it!
Can it slow the wizard? Because slowing
No, it
down its
can't.
spell capabilities would be great.
Nope.
Downside, we can't. Low or high spell.
Sakani is basically immune to the
Sakani.
Lunar Fracture.
Yeah, he's too big, too powerful.
Big man.
He literally he's literally resistant to all form of spell damage. So
Well, we don't have a lot of casters.
I
I
assume
guess it's technically magical damage, not spell damage. You know what I mean?
so. Sigillian Prime is harder to hit, and I assume he has more HP than probably both Devourers combined. I think if
Almost
anything,
assuredly. Well, no,
slowing
he's a
him would
wizard.
probably be the better move. No, Sigillian Prime.
Oh, so Johnny Prime, yeah, probably.
He has 24 AC, which will probably go down to 22.
Yeah, not 24 anymore.
Can you tell me what would go? How many points would go down?
2.
2. Okay, so yeah, it is like haste.
Yeah.
Slowing him instead would bring it down to a 20, which is on par with us, or most of us at least. He can only make one attack, which fantastic. He would still be making saves at the end of each of his turns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's,
I don't think it's surprising to hear he has magic resistance.
yeah, so advantage on those.
Show me someone who doesn't have matchup resistance here.
The Devourers.
Me.
I meant the enemies, you idiot.
The Devourers. So.
Yeah, me pulls out gun.
Well, actually, funny you mentioned that. Because when you imagine justice, what do you imagine? As an iconographic sort of thing.
Justice.
Yeah,
Like the scales.
correct. That's usually what most people imagine across cultures. The Lunar Fracture can also tip the scales a bit. Because at current, if it doesn't do anything else, like haste or slow or whatever, there's probably a decent chance you guys are going to lose.
Right.
I don't think it's 100% by any means, but I do think there's a decent chance. So we actually can even the odds a bit. We'll put forward this option. It can, across time and space,
Of course.
classic cross time and space, it can also drop you guys assistance in the form of Moonlight Phantasms.
Oh.
These would be extensions of the... Imagine if, like, in the present doorway, where you guys are just sort of there but not there. Imagine if you were actually there. That's essentially what it would be.
Mhm.
So, that's what the Phantasms would be. So if you guys want, this is one of the other options. You guys can call in other people from the other crew. It can restore balance. It can deliver justice in that regard.
That doesn't include Sajar, does it?
Sajar's not in a position to say yes to the offer, so
Yeah.
so no, sorry.
So that's. It would still be robbing the Sigillian Prime of his haste, right? His super haste.
Yeah, it's ending the haste on it no matter what.
Good.
That's it, sort of wresting control back. Also, have a good night, Durkee.
Night, Turkey.
Oh,
Night.
So, as opposed to hasting ourselves or slowing the Devourers, we could get more heads on the board.
You could.
Hmm. Would that
There is
include-
there is one other thing it could do. I just don't know if you guys would want to agree to it.
Oh.
It's hard, it would be. I don't know how the mechanic of it would work. This is entirely based on one thing I remember seeing once upon a time. It can reset the clock on you guys, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Or I guess it would delay the inevitability on the clock. It's hard to explain. So if you guys were to drop to 0, it could reset the clock.
Like
you-
fucking
It could rewind you. Back to
Dormammu. I've come to bargain.
Something like that, yeah. There is a catch, though.
Oh.
Eventually, your time will catch up to you. And you have to resolve yourself in before that happens. Because if not, you're about to take basically 1.5x your HP pool in one hit.
Oh God.
Which is like a death save, or and if you fail that death save, you die. Like that's like just the insta-kill rules. So there is also that option if you guys want to have everyone get a reset button. It's just the catch is you have to figure out how to fix yourselves, because if everyone's tapped on healing, then that's like half of you dropping and making death saves. So that's the catch.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's a very dangerous option.
How much would you need to heal?
You would have to heal back to 1 point below your hit point maximum. So let's say like you had 100 HP, you drop to 0, you get your time reset, you suffer 50 damage, you would have to heal back to 99 damage. So that'd be what, 51? You have to hit for 51, so you had to catch the time back, or else you have a chance of instantly dying as soon as your time catches back up to you.
Oh God.
Yeah, that would be pretty bad.
You ever see Super Mario Galaxy with like the little like time phantoms that follow you in certain levels?
No.
I have not.
I'm the only one that's played Super Mario Galaxy.
Afraid so.
Yeah.
Yes, so.
Basically, it's like
I've played it,
occasionally
but I
there'll
don't
be like
remember
a
any of it.
ghost. Basically, there's occasionally a ghost Mario will spawn behind you, and if you ever cross over your path and bump into one of them, you die instantly.
Oh God.
Okay, it wouldn't be that. It wouldn't be that.
That sounds spooky.
Yeah, it was really good for a
Ghost of an
platform, but
Italian
anyways.
plumber chasing you around.
Oh God!
I guess in a weird way, it could. Oh God! Okay, this is going really top down. Okay, it could duplicate you in time and space. I don't know what that even.
Now we're in the Flash paradox.
And if you touch yourself, you die.
That would be pretty funny.
And if you touch your doppelganger, you die. Also.
Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! If you touch yourself, you die. If you touch your doppelganger. Yeah, so these are all options.
Are you the Catholic Church? There we go.
Do you want fur on your palms? Alright, so I'll go ahead and post. Oh, I'll post in the planning room. Our options.
I'll say the haste all of you and slow down the devours will be one option. I think that's one option. Because